This is an anime recap video, and in this video, I'm going to show you a boy named Usato, who is accidentally summoned to another world along with his friends Inukami and Kazuki, and becomes a healer magician, aiming to defeat the demon lord. Our story begins with a boy and a girl walking towards their classroom. On the way, they encounter some students who think they are cool and wonder if they are dating each other. It turns out the girl is the head of the student council, named Inukami, while the boy is her subordinate, named Kazuki. We are then introduced to a boy named Usato Ken, an average school student, who has no friends and always spends time alone but loves to help animals and birds. One day, while helping a group of sparrows, he gets late returning home. Suddenly, heavy rain comes down, and some students take his umbrella. Wondering what to do in this condition, he thinks of stealing the umbrella of another student, but since he is a kind and loving boy, he realizes that this is not who he is. Just then, Inukami walks in and asks about his umbrella. Since she is the president of the student council and doesn't want a student to get drenched in the rain, she offers to lend him her umbrella, but Usato refuses it. Her subordinate, Kazuki, comes in and tells her that he is his classmate, and gives him his extra umbrella. Usato wonders how Kazuki knows his name since they haven't talked to each other in class, but thinks that he must be a good guy. They then introduce each other and head back home, declaring that it must be fate that brought them together. But Usato feels that students will get jealous of this since he is walking with the popular duo in the school. On the way, he tells Kazuki that he thinks of him as a girly boy, who only talks to girls. But Kazuki denies it, stating that he only replies to the girls who talk to him. Usato also tells Inukami that he thinks of her as a goddess, but Kazuki informs him that not only is she kind and beautiful, but she also tops every subject and is great in sports. Hearing their heartfelt conversation, Usato asks if they are dating, as he heard so many rumors about them in school. However, Kazuki shuts him down, revealing that their relationship is just a senpai and subordinate. Since no one said this to their faces, Inukami tells him that she admires his courage, calling this way better than talking behind their backs. She then asks both of them about their future plans, but they reveal they have none. Kazuki asks why she always asks this question, to which she tells him that she doesn't have herself, and she does not belong in this world. Hearing her words, Usato realizes that she is his opposite, as he himself wants to have a popular life, while she gets everything she wants easily. Just then, Inukami and Kazuki hear the sounds of the bells ringing and stop on the ground. They ask Usato about it, but he hears nothing. Suddenly, the sound of the bells gets louder and a magic circle appears below them. Usato thinks of this circle as a gate to another world, which sparks a brief interest in Inukami, and the next moment, they transform to another world. After that, they wake up in a royal place. While Kazuki and Usato are horrified at the sudden turn of events, Inukami is super hyped up and reveals that she always wanted to go to another world and meet monsters and heroes. Just then, the man sitting on the throne apologizes to them and reveals that he is Lloyd Linger, the king of the Linger Kingdom, and the one who summoned them to this world. He tells them that they were summoned as heroes to this kingdom, causing panic in Kazuki's eyes while sparking enthusiasm in Inukami. He tells them that 2 years ago, they came under attack by this world's king of demons along with his army, and after an intense battle, they only managed to repel them. Since then, the demon lord has been strengthening his forces, aiming to destroy this kingdom. He also tells them that, as a last resort to protect the kingdom, they use forbidden magic, allowing them to summon those from another world with the potential to defeat the demon lord, a process they call hero summoning. While Inukami is happy about this, Kazuki rejects this request and asks him to send them back to their own world, revealing that he has his family waiting there. However, King Lloyd tells him that this is not possible. He further clarifies that the hero summon spell only works in one direction, meaning they can bring the heroes to this world but can't send them back. Angered at this, Kazuki tries to attack them, but Usato stops him. Just then, King Lloyd bows down before them, calling them heroes, and asks them to lend their powers to defeat the demon lord, promising that he will try to find a way to send them back to their world in the near future. After that, Inukami asks why they call them heroes and thinks they must have mistaken about them. The king's right hand, Welsi, informs them that the hero summon magic circle contains a spell that seeks out those with hero potential, and hearing the sound of the bell is their proof. However, Usato reveals that he didn't hear anything, which means he just got caught up in it. After that, Welsi takes them to her room to check their magical aptitude with her crystal ball. Kazuki asks Usato if he is okay with this since he was dragged into this without being summoned. However, Usato tells him that he is fine with it. He may not be a hero, but he wants to do something for this country. Just then, Welsie asks Inukami to put her hand on the magic crystal ball, and when she does, it is revealed that Inukami has the power of thunder magic. She then asks Kazuki to put his hand on the crystal, and when he does, it is revealed that Kazuki possesses the power of light, a rare ability that can easily extinguish any evil. After that, she asks Usato to put his hand on the crystal, and when he does, the crystal emits a green light. In a horrifying state, Welsie grabs his hand and rushes out of the room, dragging him along. She informs King Lloyd about Inukami's thunder magic and Kazuki's light magic, but is horrified while revealing Usato's magic. King Lloyd speculates that Usato might possess dark magic, an ability typically controlled by demons, but she clarifies that the crystal turned green. Hearing this, King Lloyd also becomes horrified and advises her not to mention it loudly since this type of magic is very rare. He believes they need to get Usato as far away from the castle as possible and wonders if there's any safe place for him in the kingdom. Before they prepare for his departure, Usato questions King Lloyd about his magic and expresses concern about its nature. Just then, a girl with green hair enters, causing panic among everyone present, including the king. She inquires about summon magic and heroes, looks at Usato, and concludes that he must be the summoned hero. However, King Lloyd corrects her mistake, stating that Usato is not a hero and was summoned by mistake. The green-haired girl is revealed to be Rose, the captain of the kingdom's rescue squad. Seeing Rose's intimidating appearance, Usato thinks she doesn't look like someone from a rescue squad but rather from a killing squad. Welsie offers to take Rose to the hero's room, and she happily agrees. Just as Rose is about to leave, King Lloyd suggests that Usato rest in the room while they contemplate the situation. However, Usato presses him for information about his magic and the significance of the magical crystal turning green. At the mention of the color green, Rose stops and asks the king for permission to borrow Usato. In a horrified state, King Lloyd instructs Welsie to send Usato as far away as possible, and she complies. However, Rose is exceptionally fast, catching up to him quickly and even disrupting Welsie's magical spell to capture Usato. She then informs King Lloyd that she intends to train Usato as a proper healer and leaves the palace. It is revealed that despite being summoned accidentally into this world, Usato possesses rare healer magic. Welsie informs Inukami and Kazuki about this, and Rose's plans to make Usato her subordinate since she also possesses healing magic abilities. Inukami thinks this might not be a bad thing, but Welsie warns her that Miss Rose's training methods are extremely harsh, and those who undergo her training become mentally tough. After reaching her house, Rose explains the concept of healing magic to Usato. She introduces him to his subordinates, including Tong, Mil, Alec, Gommel, and Gerd, all of whom have a scary appearance. Apologizing for their intimidating looks, Tong clarifies that this is their way of introducing themselves. Rose then informs Usato that the rescue squad has only 2 healers who are currently on duty elsewhere. With a more fearsome expression, she informs him that she will enhance his use of healing magic, leaving Usato to request a change of instructor. However, she departs, stating that his training will commence early the next morning. Shocked, Usato contemplates what lies ahead but resolves to give it his best effort before bidding the night farewell. Walking to the capital palace with Miss Rose, Usato asks why he has to join the Inukami's training session despite Kazuki already being there with her. Miss Rose tells him that Kazuki is with Siglis and he was supposed to be with him, but she declined the king's request since he was exhausted after returning from the forest. After that, King sent her another request yesterday, and this time for Inukami, so she just couldn't refuse him twice. She also informed him that he will be with them just in case they need a healer and orders him to play his part for 3 days and come home unharmed. Just then, they reach the palace and are introduced to Eriku and Korin, who will be accompanying them to the forest. Usato, looking at Eriku, thinks that he saw him somewhere, and Eriku tells him that he was the guard that met him at the gate of the place when he was heading to the forest with Miss Rose. Inukami is happy that Usato brought Blurin to their training, thinking that he is trying to help her bond with Blurin, but Usato tells her that Blurin doesn't like anyone at home, so he decides to take him along. Just then, Miss Rose tells Inukami that Usato still hasn't mastered his healing magic abilities, which means he can only heal wounds and cure poison, but cannot bring back people from the dead. Before leaving, she taunts Usato for not saying any good words to her but then tells Inukami to look after themselves. Looking at Miss Rose, Inukami believes that Miss Rose is a powerful fighter, and Usato agrees, and so they head to the forests. At the kingdom, Kazuki is practicing his sword technique. Suddenly, the princess walks in and stops him from doing that, revealing that he was all fatigued after returning from the forest yesterday. but Kazuki assures her that he had a good night's sleep and is in good spirits now. The princess, feeling flushed at the sight, tells him to look after himself and runs away. On the way to the forest, Inukami informs Usato that Kazuki had battled tons of monsters and was able to kill them in the dark forest, known as the Darkness of Linger, and that's why they are heading there. Hearing the name of the forest, Usato believes that this was the forest Blurren had lived with his family, and wonders if he misses his family. Just then, Inukami tries to touch his fluffy skin since he was sleeping, but Usato stops her after smacking her, and reveals that he is taking a good sleep and he does not want her to wake him up. Suddenly, Blurren wakes up, and Usato tells him to walk by his own, but realizes that he is still asleep and cannot walk. Just then, Inukami asks him to get on her back, revealing that she will carry him and will make a bond with him. Usato stops her, but she doesn't listen. Suddenly, Blurren hops on her back, and she can't handle the weight of Blurren's body and falls unconscious. Seeing this, Usato heals her with his healing magic and then heads toward the village. Suddenly, Korin senses something on her magic stab and informs them that something is coming in their way. Eriku believes there must be some monsters, but out comes some bandits who are hiding in the bushes just to ambush them. Their leader threatens them to hand over all their valuables, otherwise they will kill on the spot. Usato tells Inukami not to get frightened because he will protect her from everything. But upon looking at her, he realizes that she is totally into bandits, which she reveals that she never saw them in her whole life. Just then, Blurren steps in, causing the bandits to get frightened at the sight, saying that they even got Blue Grizzly, but their leader tells them he is just a cub. Suddenly, Inukami, who had enough of this nonsense, attacks them with her thunder magic and takes out their leader in one attack. The others also charge at her, causing Usato to get hyped up and tells her to go get them, which she does so with her thunder magic but informs Usato that he is getting on her nerves. Just then, Korin senses something else and informs them that something is coming in their way, and they are very fast. Suddenly, a group of red boars arrives and attacks them. Inukami tries to save their group with her thunder magic, but it does not have any effect on them, causing one of the red boars to attack her. But Usato comes to her aid, and the red boar sends them both flying into the air with his tackle. Usato activates his magic and uses it on Inukami so she didn't get hurt during the fall, but they end up falling into the river. Seeing the river, Usato realizes that he was here before when he was chased by the Grizzly family and realizes that there is a waterfall ahead. So, he asks Inukami to take a deep breath, and she does so, and they both fall into the waterfall. After that, Inukami wakes up on the side of the waterfall. She asks Usato to wake up as she did not want him to die on her, but Usato informed her that he is fine and was taking a breather after pulling her out of the water. He then heals her injuries and she thanks him for that. He tells her that he was here before when Miss Rose dumped him into this forest to train, revealing that this forest is teeming with monsters that put those red boars to shame. Hearing this, Inukami tells Usato that if the details he is revealing are true, then they should prioritize escaping from this forest. To this, Usato looks at the sky and tells her that it's going to get dark soon and it might start raining, so they should find a spot to camp for the night and find their way out tomorrow morning. Inukami asks if he knows any safe place, to which Usato tells her that he slept on a tree branch last time. Hearing this, Inukami reveals that she never climbed a tree before and has always wanted to but was never allowed to. Usato believes that Inukami must be from a rich family, and that's why they sheltered her all her life. Just then, he sees a cave and tells her to go there as they will be sheltered from the rain and it's way better than going deep into the forest. After that, they hunt down some fishes after Inukami electrified them in the river and made some fire in the cave. Usato thanks her for the food and the fire, revealing that his clothes were wet, and due to this, they will be soaked. Inukami, who was feeling flushed after looking at his body, believed that he's even more ripped than before. However, he sees some monkeys and heads towards them. Usato tells her that they are venom monkeys and asks her not to touch them, but she ends up getting bitten by one of them and goes unconscious, which causes Usato to heal her immediately. At the kingdom, King Lloyd informed Kazuki that he got word from Korin's familiar that Inukami's group ran into a herd of monsters, and both Usato and Inukami got separated. Hearing this, a shocked Kazuki informs him that he is going there right now, but Miss Rose stops him and then tells him that Usato is with her and as long as he is with her, he will save her from any danger and asks him not to worry about her. Inside the cave, Usato thanks her for the fire and the food, but Inukami believes that he is treating her like some kind of camping equipment. Just then, Inukami feels sleepy, and Usato tells her to go first as they will take turns in sleeping. However, Inukami wants him to go first, revealing that he is tired from using all that healing magic. Suddenly, as he heads to sleep, it starts raining outside. Inukami asks how he feels about being summoned into this world, believing that he must have wanted to go back to his home. He reveals that he wants to go home too, but he has a reason to stay here. Just then, Inukami informs him that she wants to stay here in this world because there's nothing left in our world for her, and she already threw away her family, her friends, and her memories just to stay here. She reveals that she was waiting all her whole life for this chance, saying that this is the freedom she always wanted. Usato feels happy at this and then informed her that he himself always wanted to change because he was tired of his ordinary life and his passive self. He explains that when he first arrived in this world, he didn't want to hold you guys back, but now he is determined to protect Inukami, Kazuki, and the people of this kingdom as a member of the rescue squad. Hearing this, they both nod at each other and vow that they will leave their old life behind and will protect the people of Linger Kingdom. The next day, they head to the forest to find their friends. Suddenly, they hear something and fall back. They feel that there must be some monsters ahead, but it turned out to be Blurrin who was searching for them. He greets Usato and hugs him, while Eriku feels exhausted because he was following Blurrin at a rapid speed. Usato then heals him, and he thanks Usato for that. Just then, Blurrin sees something and heads there. Upon reaching, Inukami wonders what he is doing, to which Usato informs her that this was Blurrin's home where he lived with his family who were killed by a giant snake monster. Suddenly, Blurrin turns back and looks at Usato, causing him to believe that he wants to leave, and he wants to stay on his side. Seeing this, Inukami extends her hand and asks him to go with him, and he does so. Like and comment if you enjoy this video. Subscribe to my channel for more anime recaps, and tell me what anime recap you like to see next in the comments below.